Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudire nashtaprayeshu vadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttamam shloke bhaktir bhavati nashtaki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 25, The Glories of Lord Ananta. Text number 10 onwards. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please keep yourself on the mute mode. Murtim na puru kripaya babhara sattvam samshuddham sad asad idam vibhati yatra yallilam rigpatirad dayan anvadyam adatum swajanam anasyudhar viryaha. This manifestation of subtle and gross matter exists within the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Out of causeless mercy towards his devotees, he exhibits various forms which are all transcendental. The Supreme Lord is most liberal and he possesses all mystic power. To conquer the minds of his devotees and give pleasure to their hearts, he appears in different incarnations and manifests many pastimes. Srila Jiva Goswami has translated this verse as follows. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is a cause of all causes. It is by his will that gross and subtle ingredients interact. He appears in various incarnations just to please the hearts of his pure devotees. For example, the Supreme Lord appeared in the transcendental incarnation of Lord Varaha the boar just to please his devotees by lifting the planet Earth from the Garbhodak ocean. So Jiva Goswami says he appears just to please the hearts of his pure devotees because he has causeless, unlimited mercy towards his devotees. And for that he performs many, many pastimes. Yannam shrutam anukirtet kasmadarto va yadi patitah pralambanadva antyaham swapadi nirnama sheshamanyam kam sheshad bhagvat ashrayan mumukshuhu. Even if he be distressed or degraded, any person who chants the holy name of the Lord, having heard it from a bona fide spiritual master, is immediately purified. Even if he chants the Lord's name jokingly or by chance, he and anyone who hears him are freed from all sins. Therefore, how can anyone seeking disentanglement from the material clutches avoid chanting the name of Lord Shesha? Of whom else should one take shelter? So even if somebody chants a name, Lord's name, jokingly or by chance, he gets benefited. It's not that person's intentions are counted, but it's a holy name is so powerful, so pure, it just benefits the person. Murdhani arpitam unuvat sahasramurdhano bhugolam sagire sarit samudra sattvam anantyad nimitta vikramasya bhumnaha ko viryane adi ganayet sahasra jivaha. Because the Lord is unlimited, no one can estimate his power. This entire universe, filled with its many great mountains, rivers, oceans, trees, and living entities, is resting just like an atom on one of his many thousands of hoods. Is there anyone, even with thousands of tongues, who can describe his glories? So even the glories of Lord Anantadeva is unlimited. He is Ananta anyway. So his glories are also unlimited. And he, with his thousands of tongues, is trying to glorify Krishna since time immemorial. And he hasn't come even close to complete the process. Evam prabhavo bhagavan ananto duranta viryo urugunanubhava mule rasaya sthitatma tantro Yo lilya kshamam sitaye bibharti. There is no end to the great and glorious qualities of that powerful Lord Anantadev. Indeed, his prowess is unlimited. Though self-sufficient, he himself is a support of everything. He resides beneath the lower planetary systems and easily sustains the entire universe. Eta hi eve nribhi rupa gantavya gatyo yatha karma vinirmita yathopadesham anuvaranitah kamana kamyaman. My dear king, as I heard of it from my spiritual master, I have fully described to you the creation of this material world according to the fruitive activities and the desires of the conditioned souls. Those conditioned souls who are full of material desires achieve various situations in different planetary systems. And in this way, they live within this material creation. In this regard, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, Anadi karma phale padi bhavarana vajale, tarivare na dekhi upai. My Lord, I do not know when I commenced my material life, but I can certainly experience that I have fallen in the deep ocean of nescience. Now I can also see that there is no other way to get out of it than to take shelter of your lotus feet. Similarly, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offers the following prayer. Ai Nanda Tanuja Kinkara. My dear Lord, son of Nanda Maharaj, I am your eternal servant. Somehow or other I have fallen into this ocean of nescience. Kindly therefore save me from this horrible condition of materialistic life. So Shukdev Goswami is saying this material world is created according to the fruitive activities and desires of the conditioned souls. Otherwise, there was no need to create this material world. It is for us to come here and rectify our impure consciousness and get eligible to go back home, back to God, back to the spiritual. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur also said, I do not know when I commenced my material life. Although Bhaktivinoda Thakur himself, he is a Manjari. He came to perform his pastimes as Bhaktivinoda Thakur. But as an instruction for all of us, this is what he's saying, that I do not know when I commenced my material life. But definitely I'm in this material world, in this deep ocean of ignorance. And my only way to get out of it is to take shelter of a lotus feet. And that's the only way, that's the safest way. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also said, and he prays, Mahaprabhu is praying, my dear Lord, son of Nanda Maharaj, I am your eternal servant. And why he prayed to Lord as Nanda Tanuja, son of Nanda Maharaj. He is praying in this mood so that just like a father and a little baby, little son of him, if the son cannot do anything, if son, obviously the baby is too small, the father very lovingly will pick up the son and help him or take care of that work himself. So similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, on our behalf, he is praying that we should pray like this, that Krishna, on my own, I cannot even hang on to your lotus feet. So you please pick me up, just like Nanda Maharaj used to pick you up, just like a loving father picks up his little baby, and just give me shelter. That's a very deep prayer. Text 15. Etavatir hi rajan punsa pravriti lakshanasya dharmasya vipagadapya uchavacha visidrisha yatha prashnam vyachakye kimante kathayamiti. My dear king, I have thus described how people generally act according to their different desires and as a result get different types of bodies. in higher or lower planets. You inquired of these things from me, and I have explained to you whatever I have heard from authorities. What shall I speak of now? So it's not that we're going to get birth by chance in some family, in some planet, in some country, in some species of life. No, everything is according to our desires. We act according to our desires, and as a result, get different types of bodies in higher or lower planets. It's very, very scientific. It's just we forget our previous lives, but Bhagavatam is there. That's why it's called Shastra Chakshusha. We should see through the eyes of scriptures that whatever planets we have been to, and now comes so there ends the 25th chapter, now starts the 26th chapter, a description of the hellish planets. And they are very, very scary. I don't know how many of you have heard Garuda Puran when somebody passes away. Then there's, at least in Hindu tradition, there is a tradition to read Garuda Puran. It's very scary. And people generally, they don't have time, because earlier it used to be that until Terumi, everybody would be gathered there reading Garuda Puran or reading Bhagavad Gita and other activities. But now people have no time whatsoever. So they come for cremation, and then they all go home, and then they come for Chotha. And that's it. Chotha also just a 1 hour ceremony. Even for that, people come late because they don't have time. They say, I don't even have time to die. मरने की भी फुर्सत नहीं है. But when time comes, then we would be thinking, I should have listened to this Garuda Puran. Anyway, here it is, our description of hellish planets. And listening to this description, we come to the point of being so grateful to Srila Prabhupada and his followers, that by their mercy, especially Prabhupada, by his mercy, at least we've been able to chant the holy names of the Lord, read Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, do some services to the Lord, engage in congregational chanting, Sankirtan, getting darshan of beautiful places in Vrindavan, Jagannath Puri, and so many different places. It's only by his mercy we've been able to do that. If not for Srila Prabhupada and his wonderful books and his followers distributing the books and the mercy along with it, I don't think Sunday night, for me it is Sunday night, so Sunday night we would be reading Srimad Bhagavatam. There's no way. Next one. Raja Vacha Maharsha Etad Vachitriyam Lokasyam Kathamiti. King Parikshit inquired from Shukdev Goswami, my dear sir, why are the living entities put into different material situations? Kindly explain this to me. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that the different hellish planets within this universe are held slightly above the Garbhodak ocean and remain situated there. This chapter describes how all sinful persons go to these hellish planets and how they are punished there by the assistance of Yamaraj. Different individuals with different bodily features enjoy or suffer various reactions according to their past deeds. Text 2. The great sage Shukdev Goswami said, my dear king, in this material world, there are 3 kinds of activities. Those in the mode of goodness, mode of passion, and the mode of ignorance. Because All people are influenced by the three modes of material nature. The results of their activities are also divided into three. One who acts in the mode of goodness is religious and happy. One who acts in passion achieves mixed misery and happiness. And one who acts under the influence of ignorance is always unhappy and lives like an animal. Because of the varying degrees to which the living entities are influenced by the different modes of nature, their destinations are also of different varieties. So it's not like everybody does whatever we want to and we all end up at the same place. Not gonna happen like that. No way. Text 3. Just as by executing various pious activities, one achieves different positions in heavenly life, by acting impiously, one achieves different positions in hellish life. Those who are activated by the material mode of ignorance engage in impious activities. And according to the extent of their ignorance, they are placed in different grades of hellish life. If one acts in the mode of ignorance because of madness, his resulting misery is the least severe. One who acts impiously but knows the distinction between pious and impious activities is placed in a hell of intermediate severity. And for one who acts impiously and ignorantly because of atheism, the resultant hellish life is the worst. Because of ignorance, every living entity has been carried by various desires into thousands of different hellish planets since time immemorial. I shall try to describe them as far as possible. So even in the common court of law, if somebody commits some crime, so the judge sees if he did it because he was a crazy guy, he was mad, then the punishment will be less severe because the judge knows he has no control over his mind or his activities. But if the person knew the distinction between pious and impious, and he still committed the crime, he will get more severe punishment. But if somebody commits the crime because of, here it says because of atheism, or we can say because of completely acting against the law, just wanted to act against the law, then the punishment will be worst. Text 4. Rajovacha Naraka Nam Bhagwan Kim Desha Vishesha Atva Bhaistrilokya Hosvitantaraliti. King Parikshit inquired from Shukdev Goswami, my dear Lord, are the hellish regions outside the universe, within the covering of the universe, or in different places on this planet? Text 5. The great sage Shukdev Goswami answered, all the hellish planets are situated in the intermediate space between the three worlds and the Garbhodak ocean. They lie on the southern side of the universe, beneath Bhumandal, and slightly above the water of the Garbhodak ocean. So that is below even Patal Loka. Pitriloka is also located in this region above, between the Garbhodak ocean and lower planetary systems. All the residents of Pitriloka, headed by Agnishvata, meditate in great samadhi on the Supreme Personality of Godhead and always wish their families well. As previously explained, below our planetary system are 7 lower planetary systems, the lowest of which is Pataloka. Beneath Pataloka are other planets known as Narakaloka, or the hellish planets. At the bottom of the universe lies the Garbhodak ocean. Therefore, the hellish planets lie between Pataloka and the Garbhodak ocean. Text 6. The king of the Pitas is Yamaraj, the very powerful son of Sun God. He resides in Pitri-loka with his personal assistants, and while abiding by the rules and regulations set down by the Supreme Lord, has his agents, the Yamdutas, bring all the sinful men to him immediately upon their death. After bringing them within his jurisdiction, he properly judges them according to their specific sinful activities and sends them to one of the many hellish planets for suitable punishments. Yamaraj is not a fictitious or mythological character. He has his own abode, Pitriloka, of which he is the king. Agnostics may not believe in hell, but Shukdev Goswami affirms the existence of the Nark planets, which lie between the Garbhodak Ocean and Patal Lok. Yamaraj is appointed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to see that the human beings do not violate his rules and regulations. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 4:17, Karmano hi api buddhavyam. The intricacies of action are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, what inaction is. One should understand the nature of karma, vikarma, and akarma, and one must act accordingly. That is the law of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The conditioned souls who have come to this material world for sense gratification are allowed to enjoy their senses under certain regulative principles. If they violate these regulations, they are judged and punished by Yamaraj. He brings them to the hellish planets and properly chastises them to bring them back to Krishna consciousness. By the influence of Maya, however, the conditioned souls remain infatuated with the mode of ignorance. Thus, in spite of repeated punishment by Yamaraj, they do not come to their senses, but continue to live within the material condition, committing sinful activities again and again and again and again. Because another reason why these conditioned souls, even if when we get punished by Yamaraj or his associates, Yamadutas, because we forget. The ignorance, the Maya is so strong, even in this lifetime, what to speak of going to Narkloka to get our punishment, even in this lifetime. So many times we have been punished, and still we commit the same offense again and again, same crime. It's just thinking that next time I will not get punished, or next time I will not get caught. But Yamaraj, his management, his administration is very, very strong and very I want to use the word pakka, but that's not the right word. I mean, it's very pakka. Nobody can run away. But he also has a material body, so sometimes he makes mistakes. So sometimes, but not always. So mistakes we'll read later on, but let's read about all this Narkaloka. So text 7. Some authorities say that there is a total of 21 hellish planets, and some say 28. My dear king, I shall outline all of them according to their names, forms, and symptoms. The names of the different hells are as follows: Tamisra, Antatamisra, Roro, Maharoro, Kumbhipak, Kalasutra, Asi Patravan, Sukramukha, Andhakupa, Krimi Bhojan, Sandamsha, Tapta Surmi, Vajrakantak Shalmali, Vaitarni, Uyoda, Pranarodha, Vishasan, Lalabhaksha, Sharamayedan, Avichi, Ayapan, Ksharakardam, Rakshogana Bhojana, Shulo Prota, Danda Shuka, Avat Nirodhan, Paryavartan, and Shuchi Mukha. All these planets are meant for punishing the living entities. Next slide. So all these descriptions are there. Now time is getting over. So should we, okay, let's read a couple of else. For our benefit, Prabhupada didn't go in details, just did the translation. The destination of, text 8. My dear king, a person who appropriates another's legitimate wife, children, or money is arrested at the time of death by the fierce Yamadutas, who bind him with the rope of time and forcibly throw him into the hellish planet known as Tamisra. On this very dark planet, the sinful man is chastised by the Yamadutas, who beat and rebuke him. He is starved and he is given no water to drink. Thus, the wrathful assistants of Yamaraj cause him severe suffering, and sometimes he faints from their chastisement. Okay, as I don't remember when in Bhagavatam we discussed. So when these Yamdutas come and bind the soul and take him out of the body, so they take him to Yamlok, which is 99 lakh miles away, and they cover this distance very fast. But this distance that they cover, it's covered with sand. Underneath, the fire is burning. It means it's very, very hot sand. And they have bound up this sinful soul. But the soul cannot be punished, as we read in Bhagavad Gita. You cannot do anything to the soul. So to give him punishment while on the way to Yamloka, they give him a Yatna Deha, the punishment body. And while taking him to Yamloka, just like Prabhupada explained that, just like if police catches a criminal and they catch him and bring him to the police station, while on the way in the jeep or somewhere, they beat him up also. They haven't reached the police station, but still they beat him up. So Yamdutas also beat up this sinful person in the Yatna Deha. So he's being beaten up and he is crying and he has to walk on this burning sand, and he wants water, but they don't give him any water. If he asks for water, and they beat him up again, and they take him, bind him, and he's bleeding and he's crying, and take him to Yamaloka. And where Chitragupta comes up with all the record of all the sins he has committed. And then Yamaraj looks at him, and then Yamaraj gives him the punishment. So if he goes to this Tamisra planet, so where he's again beaten up by Yamdutas, and he's bound up, he's starved, and he's given no water to drink. But he does not die. That's the thing. The body that they give him, if the body that we have right now, if we are given few lashes, we will die. But he does not die. He doesn't leave that body till the punishment is over. So every day they will bring him to the place of punishment, beat him up, and then leave him at home. Then in the morning, again, morning, evening, whatever time, they bring him again. But this is the mercy of Krishna. See, as we know, if we go above earth, the time moves in a different way. 100 years in Brahmaloka is 311 trillion, 40 billion years on earth. So as we go down, the time calculation is also different. So 100 years in the lowest planet could be equal to 1 year on earth. So the time is calculated differently. So the punishment does not go on for too long a time. Although he might have committed so many sins on earth, and maybe he committed for 50, 60 years. But the punishment goes on for maybe 6 months, 1 year. But person who's living on that planet, for him it is like 100 years. So that's the difference. But the punishment is definitely there. So anyway, we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Patal Lok, when it's mentioned Patal Lok, is it Earth Patal Lok, the planet Earth, or in the universe somewhere it's a planet?
No, yesterday we were discussing, no? Below Earth, there are planets. Atal, Sutal, Atal, Vital, Sutal, Talatal, Mahatal, Rasatal, and Patal. Below Earth. So below Patal Lok and above Garbhodak Ocean. So all these Narak planets are there.
Okay, Prabhuji, I was not there in the class yesterday. So
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, I
The
should.
Pitroloka is above the Bhuloka, no?
I don't know. Here it is mentioned. It's in that area, in that region.
But then earlier it was mentioned that Pitroloka is in the upper planetary system, above Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka.
I was also
Pitroloka,
confused.
just below the Sarvaloka.
I have to do more research. Here it says it's below.
Because here it mentions in that Yamraja stays in Pitroloka.
Yeah. But anyway, it was also mentioned Yamraj stays in Yamaloka. But here in the shloka it says Pitri Raja. Yamra is a king of Pitas. So I have to find out more.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I guess we can stop here. You all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri.
Hare Krishna. Jai Shri.